Hello, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to get on here while it's still morning and wish everyone a good morning. And I hope you're looking forward to having a good day. I don't know. I kind of had a hard time coming on this morning. Lately, what's been coming up for me is self-love. I've always, not always, but probably in the last 5 years, been a huge advocate for self-love. And I don't tolerate lack of self-love from my friends or the people around me. It's just something that when people start talking down about themselves or put themselves down or talk about how much they hate themselves, it's something I just can't tolerate. And it's not, I get it, I totally understand. It's just something where I so wish that people knew how valuable they were and how lovable and worthy and beautiful and perfect that they were. That it's like watching, if I were to watching someone pick on themselves or pick themselves apart or beat themselves up but put themselves down, is to me is intolerable, in the same way that it's intolerable to watch a bully pick on someone. And that's exactly what it looks like. There's one side of you that's picking on the other, and it's this taught side. It's the side that's bullying you or picking on you or telling you that you're not worthy. It's a taught side. It's learned. It's not something we're born with. So you can let it go. It's not really truly a part of who you are. It doesn't need to be there. And my very first step, my first real step to healing and to being happy and to becoming whole again, was I gave up bullying myself. And for me, I didn't realize I was bullying myself. I thought I was helping myself, or I thought that it's just what you do, or it's just, how can I not bully myself when, look at me, I'm so pathetic, or I'm whatever the story was for that day. I remember waking up one morning and I was really beating myself up bad, really bad. And I had a boyfriend in my life. Before that, I had a husband in my life. Both of them were bullies to me as well, and verbally and physically and every other way, psychologically. There goes my voice. Anyways, I woke up one morning and I was really just beating myself up, and I thought, why am I so unhappy? Why am I in this terrible relationship? Why do I hate myself so much? And I just had this weird thought that, I've been doing this my whole life, and here's where it's got me. Bullying myself has gotten me nowhere. Miserable, unhappy, abused, less than, So I thought, well, maybe I'll do it differently. Maybe I'll do it differently and see what happens. And it took me about 2 weeks to get rid of it. Yeah, probably 2 weeks. Maybe it would come back over the next couple of months, but I knew what to do about it. But for the first 2 weeks, it was like, I literally, some days, I would be, sort of in autopilot mode, where I would be like driving, or I'd be working, or I'd be doing something, and then the voice would start to come in, and I would start to, you should be doing this better, you should be doing that better, you shouldn't be this way, you should be this way, what's wrong with you, all this. I started to hear that record come in, and I would have to sometimes even tell myself, just stop, shut the F up, let's think about something else. Let's not think about that. Let's look at something that's in front of me. Let's think about what I want to do for the day. Let's think about something I'm looking forward to, something that has nothing to do with me. Just stop the record in the background. Stop that voice, stop that learned mechanism, defense mechanism, or whatever it is. Like, just stop it. And so after a couple of weeks, it started to let go. And when it did come in, it felt so ugly and so nasty that it didn't have a place anymore. It didn't feel good anymore, and it was very noticeable. So before, I was so used to beating up on myself, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, if you have a bully that beats on you every single day, all day, you don't know life without it. Well, I was starting to know life without it. And so when the voice did come back in, and I'm not talking about like a schizophrenic, voice of God or anything like that. I'm just talking about feelings. It's almost like you start getting these feelings about yourself, and they have words to them. Anyways, so then in those same 2 weeks, my life started to change. And I don't want to go into any real detail about it. That's not why I got on to talk about it, but I wanted to talk about bullying yourself and what you're doing to yourself is not okay. Even though you're taught that it was, or you're taught that it is, it's not. And if you've been doing it your whole life and you're not happy and it didn't work for you, try something else. And that something else is kind of going cold turkey. Let yourself off the hook. And it's interesting because I think we use our bodies to beat ourselves up as well. And it's interesting because you see it kind of everywhere. It's not just social media. Even though it's very, very prevalent there, it sort of blossomed, body image and body, sort of disgust for the body or I don't even know, body hate, body shaming, all that stuff. It's really had a place to bloom on social media, and it is what it is. But it just seems so weird to me that you would hate your body. Now, I've always in the back of my head, there's a few parts of my body that I want to be a little bit different, but it was never that big of a deal. It was always like, my face is what it is, and I think it's beautiful, and my body is what it is, and I think it's beautiful. I don't run around naked. I'm not that person. But I have respect. And, I'm not going to go spend money on plastic surgery. I don't base my happiness on the way that my body looks. I did maybe when I was from 13 to 22 or 23, maybe I did, but then I just got over it. Having your health go out changes things, and this is one of the gifts of it, is if my body's not here, I'm not here. And I never thought about it that way. I always felt like I was, the sort of soul spirit part of me, the unseen part of me, was here, and my body was just sort of along for the ride. And that's not the way it is at all. And my perspective was changed in these last 2 months. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer about 2 months ago. And the last 2 months have been a really, really rough ride. I'm actually on a little bit of a break now for chemo. My treatment got delayed by a week, so I'm sort of getting an extra week right now where I'm actually getting myself back. That'll change when I do chemo next week. But for right now, I don't have any chemo on board. And I'm actually seeing some really, really positive changes in my body. So the tumor size is going down, the pain is going down, my energy is coming back, things like that. But anyways, for the last 2 months, that has not been the case. I've barely been able to get out of bed, taking a shower. I wake up on a day that I have to take a shower, and I take a shower, and then I have to go back to bed. I take my dog out for a 5-10 minute walk to go do his business, and then I have to go lay down again. And these last 4 or 5 days, I haven't had to do that. But for the last 2 months, that was my life. And there were some days where I just couldn't get out of bed. Someone would have to come over and take my dog out. Shower was not happening. My house, I couldn't eat. I couldn't take care of myself. I just laid in bed and waited for it to pass, anyways. So one of the huge gifts of realization, of insight that's come to me in this past 2 months is that if your body's not here, you're not. And if your body's not healthy, you're not healthy. And even though you aren't really your body, you need it. You need to love it. There was times, especially in the last couple of months, where I really had to fight to not be angry at my body or like feel betrayed by it, or whatever feelings you might be feeling. If you're going through something like this, you might have a tendency to sort of feel like you're fighting against your body, or that your body has failed you, or that you've been betrayed, or that there's something wrong with it, or that it doesn't, that your body's not intelligent, that it's this thing that needs to be fixed. That mindset, oh my gosh, is probably one of the worst things that you can do, especially with cancer, because cancer doesn't give a shit. It takes a life of its own. And one of the most important things that you can do, in my opinion, in my experience so far, is to love your body, and to love your body, to trust it, to fight. Really, really don't let thoughts of loathing your body come into your thought. I know it's not, there's times where it hurts like hell, and there's times where you can barely walk across the house, to go to the restroom, and it feels like it's failing you, but it's not. It knows exactly what it's doing. And, my treatment, I'm obviously, like I said, doing chemo, but I'm also doing other things as well. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not, an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm just telling you my experience. I do other natural remedies. I do take a sort of a natural approach as well as the chemo, so I'm doing both. Respecting the Western allopathic medical side, and then also respecting my body's own natural inclination towards healing. Your body wants to heal, and it's just getting out of the way a lot of times. And for me too, there's also a psychological sort of there's a stress component, I guess, is all I can really say at the moment. Some stuff that sort of has been building up over the years, that I feel in my gut is sort of manifested as a discord in my body, which I see as manifest or, materialized as cancer cells that have gone wild for a moment anyways. If you're going through something today, hang in there. There will be gifts from this, huge gifts. Sometimes the bigger the problem, the bigger the hurt, the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the gifts. And I actually don't mean sometimes by that. I mean probably, if you allow it, the gifts can and will be huge, and just hang in there. Love your body, even if it feels completely wrong, completely against what you've been taught or what you think you should feel about your body. Force yourself to love it. Force yourself to love something about it. You don't have to, this idea that your body has to be perfect to love. Your body is perfect. there's a saying that used to drive me nuts. And it's a saying that's like, well, no one's perfect. And I'm thinking, wait a second, aren't we all kind of perfect? Like, aren't our bodies perfect? You know, I mean, for most of us, our bodies are perfectly suited for our environment, for our planet, to interact with other people, to experience this life, to experience this world. And when things happen with it, you know, try not to go down the road of there's something wrong with your body. You know, I tried to just think of this whole thing as there's something that my body is working through and there's something that I'm working through, but you know, just stick with it. So yeah, I hope you're having a great day. I'm gonna leave this right there, and yeah, be easy on yourself. I'll see you guys later.